One day, there was a young girl who spent every single day following a strict schedule arranged by her parents. Wherever she went, security guards were always close by because the entire world knew exactly who she was. Her name was Samantha Mackenzie, the only daughter of the President of the United States, John Mackenzie. Samantha had grown up in a massive house that looked more like a palace than a home, but to her it felt like living inside a prison. The only person she could really talk to was her father's personal assistant, Liz. Liz was the closest thing Samantha had ever had to a friend, since she had never experienced a normal childhood with friends her own age. That is why, when Samantha found out she would be going to college and living in a dorm, she was beyond excited. For the first time, she imagined living like a regular young adult, free to make her own choices without being trapped by a rigid agenda. Liz could only remind her to be careful and watch her behavior. No matter what, Samantha could never act completely freely. Every move she made would be watched, especially with her father planning to run for president again the following year. Late one night, while everyone else was asleep, Samantha quietly sneaked into the kitchen to enjoy her favorite chocolate cake. Not long after, her father showed up and joined her, casually eating cake together. He already knew her habit of getting hungry in the middle of the night. That moment gave Samantha the chance to ask him for a favor. She begged him not to escort her to campus the next day. She wanted to experience her first day as a college student in peace, without becoming the center of attention. But reality had other plans. The next morning, both of her parents still accompanied her to campus with a loud and flashy convoy. Once they arrived, Samantha headed to her dorm room. Her mother told her that she would be sharing the room with a girl named Mia. Before leaving, both of her parents reminded Samantha to take good care of herself. Then they left for their next campaign event, while Samantha remained under the watch of 4 presidential bodyguards. This is where her college life really begins. This is first daughter. Not long after her parents were gone, Samantha finally felt a sense of freedom. Moments later, Mia arrived, complaining nonstop when she realized she was rooming with the president's daughter. Not wanting her own life to feel restricted, Mia immediately wanted to switch rooms. Samantha stopped her, clearly hurt by the idea. Mia realized that Samantha did not fit her usual motto of living freely and doing whatever she wanted, and in the end, she decided to stay. After all, sharing a room with Samantha came with some unexpected luxury perks. Mia later invited Samantha to go partying, but Samantha had to turn her down because she was required to attend a formal meeting with the university's rector and deans. Sitting through the meeting, Samantha quickly regretted her decision. She wished she had gone partying with Mia instead of suffering through pure boredom. The next day, when classes officially began, every student in the room was distracted by Samantha's presence. Even while the professor was explaining the lesson, no one seemed to be listening. The attention made Samantha uncomfortable. Luckily, a male student broke the tension by asking a thoughtful question, pulling everyone's focus back to the class. That single moment immediately caught Samantha's attention and left her impressed. After class ended, Samantha quickly thanked the guy who had helped earlier and introduced herself. His name turned out to be James. Watching from the side, Mia immediately teased Samantha, saying her taste in guys was actually pretty good. Samantha could only smile shyly and say nothing. Later that afternoon, Samantha and Mia headed to the campus's annual event, both dressed in bikinis. Mia jumped straight into the pool while Samantha tried her best to relax and enjoy the moment. Suddenly, a group of guys showed up, dancing around and playfully bothering Samantha. What started as teasing quickly went too far, and they ended up throwing her into the pool. The moment it happened, the presidential security team rushed in, shut down the fun, and immediately escorted Samantha away. Because of that incident, Samantha was taken straight to her father's office. There, she demanded that he reduce the number of guards watching her. She made it clear that if he refused, she would quit college altogether. Living like this meant she would never have friends, and she reminded him that he had once been her age too. He should understand her desire to live like any other young person. In the end, her father finally agreed. From that point on, Samantha was guarded by only 2 bodyguards. When she returned to campus, Samantha quickly checked to see if her father had really kept his word. Looking out the window, she realized the guards who used to watch her from the nearby building were gone. For the first time, it felt real. The next day, while walking around campus with Mia, Samantha accidentally came across a group of students listening to a speech criticizing her father's leadership as president. She stayed silent, listening without reacting, and when someone tried to pull her into a debate, she simply walked away. Mia quickly suggested they forget about it and have some fun, sliding around the campus lawn with other students instead. Unfortunately, the chaos from the previous day turned into the main headline of a magazine. A photo clearly showed the moment when Samantha, without realizing it, had almost pulled down Mia's pants. Liz immediately warned Samantha to be more careful and not damage her father's reputation. Samantha knew her father had to be furious. She asked to be connected to him, apologized right away, and promised to be more cautious from then on. Meanwhile, Mia could not believe that something so accidental had turned into such a massive scandal. After that, Samantha found herself chased by reporters everywhere. In the middle of the panic, Mia did not open their dorm room door. With no other choice, Samantha ran into the dorm supervisor's room, only to realize it was James's room. The shock hit her instantly. Even after waiting for a long time, the reporters were still camped outside the dorm. That was when James came up with an idea. He lent Samantha a hoodie and a cap so she could slip past the reporters unnoticed. Moments later, they casually walked out of the dorm together. James then took Samantha to a small cafe to grab something to eat. When Samantha tried to learn more about him, James avoided talking about himself and instead brought up random facts like how male turtles snore while females hiss. To him, his life was not interesting enough to talk about. Not long after, an elderly woman approached and politely asked to take a photo with Samantha. She happily agreed, and after that, Samantha and James continued on their way. Unfortunately, the reporters spotted them again, forcing the two of them to run. To escape the chaos, James led Samantha into a movie theater, where they ended up watching a film. James always bought popcorn and mixed it with chocolate. He knew it broke the rules, but he believed that sometimes rules needed to be bent, since no one ever knew when inspiration would strike. To Samantha's surprise, the strange combination actually tasted amazing. Eventually, they made it back to the dorm safely. Samantha was still curious about James and kept asking about his life, from his favorite games to his favorite food. For her, that day turned out to be the most enjoyable day she had ever experienced. A few days later, Samantha decided to invite James to watch a bonfire event that night. Mia helped her write the invitation on a whiteboard outside James's room. When the bonfire was about to start, Samantha grew increasingly anxious as James still had not shown up. Sensing her nerves, Mia tried to calm her down. It seemed James could not make it because he was stuck doing his duty as a dorm supervisor. After that, Mia opened up about liking a guy she had gone to school with in the past. Unexpectedly, the guy actually showed up in response to her invitation. But when he approached, he greeted Samantha instead. Upset by what she saw, Mia immediately walked away. Later on, Mia deliberately turned their dorm room into a party space to vent her frustration. In her anger, she even scribbled over a photo of Samantha and her family. Deep down, Mia was jealous of how Samantha always became the center of attention, while no one ever seemed to care about her. On top of that, people often accused Mia of being close to Samantha just to get attention herself. Hearing this, Samantha quickly pushed back. Being in the spotlight was never something she chose or controlled. Mia should not have taken other people's words to heart if they were not true. But if those comments hurt her so deeply, maybe there was some truth behind them. Not long after, Samantha opened up to James about everything that had just happened. She finally understood why no one ever wanted to be close to her. Standing beside her only made others feel invisible. Being born as the president's daughter was never her choice. From the moment she was born, her life had never truly been her own, and it had become public property from the very start. To Samantha, the only time she ever had real privacy was before she was even born. Not wanting Samantha to stay trapped in her sadness, James took her out to get some fresh air. Before they realized it, the two of them were spending time together like a real couple.
Okay. Excuse me, like your bracelet.
After returning from the night carnival, Samantha thanked James for giving her a brief taste of what it felt like to live as a normal person. Somehow, whenever she was with him, she no longer felt afraid to be herself. When she got back to her dorm room, Mia surprised her by offering support and admitting she regretted everything she had done. Mia realized she had gone too far, and in that moment, the two of them made up. The next day, Samantha invited Mia and James to travel somewhere together on her private plane. Inside the aircraft, Mia enjoyed a manicure and pedicure while James relaxed by playing video games. It turned out Samantha was taking them to attend a formal party. There, she introduced both Mia and James to her parents. Not long after that, James wanted to speak with Samantha privately. Just as he was about to say something important, Samantha pulled him into a dance instead. While Samantha was being interviewed by the media, everything suddenly escalated. James swiftly picked her up and carried her away from the reporters with impressive speed and precision, moving like a trained officer. In that moment, the truth was revealed. James was a Secret Service agent, and Samantha's heart shattered instantly.
What about Mia?
They'll take care.
Lucky Charm secure.
Back at home, Samantha confronted her father, demanding to know why he had never told her the truth. She felt foolish and betrayed. Just when she had started to fall for James, the world seemed determined to break her heart even more. Even so, Samantha did not want James to lose his job. She asked her father to let James stay by her side, even if only as a bodyguard, because she understood that her father was only trying to protect her from the growing threats surrounding her. The next morning, James no longer pretended to be a student or a dorm supervisor. He now appeared fully as a bodyguard. When James tried to talk to her, Samantha acted cold and distant. To prove that her feelings were not one-sided, she deliberately made James jealous by dating another guy. She even went as far as changing her appearance into something completely unlike herself, and partied in revealing clothes. Her behavior spiraled further when she became heavily intoxicated. James eventually carried Samantha back to the campus dorm. He was deeply saddened to see how much she had changed, no longer resembling the person she once was. Hearing this, Samantha admitted that this was what her life looked like without James by her side. Once they reached her dorm room, Samantha demanded honesty from James about his feelings. She knew that everything he had done was not just part of his job. He felt the same way about her. She wondered if her status as the president's daughter had stopped him from confessing, or if everyone around her had always been kind only because of who her father was. Not wanting Samantha to misunderstand, James made it clear that even though their feelings were mutual, they could never be together. His job was at risk, and he was certain her father would never allow it. Still, if he had the freedom to choose, James would follow Samantha anywhere, not out of duty, but because it was truly what he wanted. The next morning, Mia showed Samantha a magazine with a headline claiming that Samantha was secretly dating her own bodyguard, James. Shocked, Samantha immediately went looking for him, only to find out that James had already been replaced by a new guard. From that moment on, Samantha's days were filled with emotional chaos. Rumors about her relationship with James spread everywhere and refused to die down. This time, the pressure truly exhausted her. Not long after, her mother arrived at the dorm to take her home. She asked Samantha to take a temporary break from college until things settled down, especially with the presidential election approaching and her father losing 3 points in the polls because of the recent scandals. With a heavy heart, Samantha left campus and returned home with her mother. Meanwhile, James was facing disciplinary hearings. During the process, he realized that no matter how hard he tried to push his feelings aside, his love for Samantha only grew stronger. If losing his job was the price of those feelings, he was now ready to accept it. In the end, James was demoted and reassigned. On the other side, Samantha accompanied her father to important meetings, remaining quiet the entire time. Everything finally boiled over when her father told her to be more mature, even though she believed she already had been. She had put aside her ego the moment she chose to leave campus with her mother. Before long, Samantha's father was elected president for a second term. On the night of his inauguration, he invited Samantha to dance with him. In that moment, he apologized for everything that had happened in her life. He apologized for never listening to what she truly wanted, for failing to be the father she needed, and for breaking her heart over her first love. In the middle of the dance, her father revealed a surprise by bringing James into the room. He then let his daughter dance with him.
What are you doing?
Dancing with you.
After the dance ended, James told Samantha that he was being transferred out of the city. Before leaving, he handed her a car key, a symbol of the next journey waiting ahead of her. This time, her father had finally set her free. Samantha rushed to see the car she had always dreamed of and prepared herself to begin a new chapter in life, even though the shadow of being the president's daughter would always follow her. So the moral of the story is, even if you have bodyguards and a private jet, life will still humble you, break your heart, and remind you that freedom is harder than it looks.